find so attractive is like, I just saw a video. This girl is just eating, right? And she knocks a fork over. She, it's close to the edge of the table. She knocks a fork over and she goes down to go grab it. And this guy sitting next to her is in the middle of a conversation and he's still making eye contact with a person that he's making conversation to. And he puts his hand, to the edge of the table, where the corners are. So when the girl's leaning over to pick up the fork, his hand is covering the corners. So, like, if she does come back up, eventually she won't, like, poke herself in the ribs or whatever. And this guy is still maintaining eye contact with someone who he's having a conversation with, while this girl is bending down sideways to pick up a fork. So, here's my story. I work in work. It's part of school, but and I was working on taking like screws out of a plank of wood. Okay, and I'm just like unscrewing stuff with my drill, and my classmate is just talking to her professor. He's making eye contact with the professor. I'm just like on the side, just like unscrewing this stuff, and while he's still making eye contact with the professor, he's like holding the plank down so it won't like flip crazy like when I'm like trying to unscrew it. And he's still talking to the professor, He's like, oh yeah, I was just like doing the other day, and I'm just over here like unscrewing stuff, and he automatically comes and just like presses it down so he can help me without even like, hey, do you need help? He's just like automatically, and I find that so attractive. And I was like, oh my god. It's the same thing with the guy who he just puts his hand, covers the corner of the table so she doesn't hurt herself when she comes back up. It's like, oh my god, like the littlest things, bro. It's literally like that little. And it's like that's what excites me about, finding a person, and like, not that they need to be perfect, but like these are the little things that like I look for and that I hope for in my own relationship in the future. It's like, my boyfriend's very much like, he's just so thought out like that. It's just like automatic to him, It's like, oh, you got corners? Boom, I'm gonna cover this table. It's like, oh, you need help unscrewing something? Well, I'm, not even that. And it's just like, that's like that, like that's attractive, I don't care about how you look, although looks are, maybe for our future babies, whatever, but like, it's like the thoughtfulness of that, the most minor thing, bro. And like, this is just for class, and I was like, that was attractive, you know what I'm saying? Like, holding open the door open, that's very normal. You should always do that, or grabbing you a pair of glasses when you're like, oh wow, thank you, or waiting for you when you're signing in to class, whatever, these are little things. It's just like, but like the table covering the corner thing, that was just like, oh my gosh, I just like brought out like a memory, pretty recent. Well, I think a few weeks ago is when that happened, and I was just like, oh my god, that's so attractive to me. He wasn't even looking at me, bro. He was just still talking to him, and he's just like nonchalantly, just like he puts weight down on the planks of wood so that I can undrill it, take out the screws easily. Like that's so, and he works in construction, stuff like that. Like, I love guys who are very handy, not handsy, handy. You see that? I'm missing that one consonant, okay? One letter. He's very handy. He knows how to use tools, power drills. He knows how to fix things. Oh, like,